Counselor Stevenson,
Present.
Counselor Austin. Counselor Austin? Because audio went out. Well, Counselor Martin? Well, we had Counselor Martin and Counselor Gaudion. They decided to leave. But you're kind of muffled on your end.
Okay, let me take my mask off. Can you hear me now?
Not very clear.
Your audio is pinging.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Not very clear, Counselor. No, it's not good audio. We're still here, but it's not a good audio on your end. We can,
Can you hear me now? Is this better? Hello?
yeah, can you say something, Counselor?
So what?
Okay, that's a little better.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Well,
that's better.
if you can you call the roll now again?
Yes, Counselor Stevenson,
Present.
Counselor Austin. Counselor Austin. Okay, we lost you again, but you're present. We did have Counselor Martin, Counselor Gowdy present. At 5:44 p.m. No, this is, Counselor's not working. Your audio is not working.
What's going on?
He's having a bad connection on the audio.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion? Are you gonna, you want to turn the gavel over to Counselor Stevenson or reschedule? And she can run the meeting for you. Counselor Stevenson.
Yes.
Because I can't hear.
Well, I don't know how we're gonna have a meeting with if we can't hear him.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to call him on the phone. Yeah, your audio is not working. Okay, what's the number? Okay. All right. I'll look for it. Okay. Okay. He's gonna try his other phone and see if that's any better. We have Mayor King on the line and Chief of Staff Michael Smedley just joined in. We're waiting on Councilor Austin to join on a better audio.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Other phone. Go ahead, Councilor Stevenson. If you
Yes.
would accept the gap and follow the agenda, please.
What did he say?
Councilor Stevenson, I'm asking if you would follow the agenda, please.
Oh, okay. So are we done with the roll call, Dr. Guy?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, remarks of the public, I think, are next.
Well, we got the North Corridor Future Heights update. I don't know if Councilor Austin, you want to give a brief update? I did attend the meeting online with Councilor Austin.
I never.
Councilor Austin. So real briefly,
that.
it was the
You can put it out there.
steering committee. Can you hear me? Was the steering committee
Yes,
that
I can
met
hear you, Dr.
yesterday?
Guy.
And okay, so I was just briefly sharing an update. I don't know if you sound very clear now, so if you want to give the update.
Okay, if I'm sounding clear, I'll give it a try. We did have a teleconference with Future Heights, better known as the Noble Corridor team. It was a very productive meeting, and a lot of things came out. One of the things that came out I thought was a phenomenal highlight for the city was that what we thought was going to be a GE dark platform or dark park for the city has been purchased and will be occupied in the near future. The partner that purchased the Nela Park, I guess the name was GE Complex. They purchased it. They plan on hiring several folks, and the company that purchased GE, that Cartergy, I should say, will continue to provide lighting at that location, and they want to start putting together some business incubators in some of the available structures that are on the compound, which I thought was very good and very beneficial for upstarts, if you will. So they also talked about the economy having some improvements and they were willing to do like cleanups in the city of East Cleveland and the surrounding cities. So they've already got a good workforce
I
that's
think
going to
he's
come
gone
in.
again.
Okay, well, Dr. God, if you take over the update, I really appreciate it.
Well, just a few things. There's a company called, I can't recall, Sona. I think you were alluding to, they were going to be occupying the GE building. So there's a partnership there. So the transition, sounds like the transition will be going, a smooth situation there. So they're excited about, taking over that building, and they're talking about the lighting and things like that, things that they're going to be offering products. So that will continue there. They also shared some prototypes of some of the things that they're going to be doing in the areas along the Noble Corridor. So I thought it was really exciting, some of the plans that they have. So more to come on that. So that's all I'll share. And I'll make sure that council gets a full packet of what was shared yesterday for the Noble Corridor.
Okay, next we have presenters to be announced.
Is there any remarks or no?
We haven't got there yet.
Sorry.
Dr. Guy, do we have presenters, any presenters today?
I'm sorry.
Okay, then let's move on to remarks to the,
Legislation.
no, remarks to the public.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Justin Anderson of Terrace Road. So in regards to these two pieces that I see, ordinance number 1320 and 1620, we definitely need to raise our fees. I believe ours are one of the cheapest around here. And with us having so much construction and different, and also with us contracting everything out, you know, because we contract everything out. So the least we could do is make a little more money off of the contractors, because like I said, everything is contracted out, whether it's grass, whether it's demolition, whether it's, you know, fixing lights. All of that stuff is contracted out, which shouldn't be. You know, if it was up to me, I would suggest that we, instead of us paying contractors all this money to cut grass, we hire some grass cutters. Or instead of us paying the companies that come out and put in the light bulbs for our street lights and side street lights, instead of paying them all that money, we could hire an electrician. Because when you add this money up at the end of the year, we paying $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in contracts for grass cutting and demolition. And well, you got to have, I'm sure I don't think we have the capacity to demo property, but definitely need to raise up those fees to gain some money. And that'll be it, Madam Vice President.
Next we have legislation, Dr. Guy.
Okay, we have ordinance number 13-20, and ordinance amending part 13, title 3 of the building code of East Cleveland, in order to authorize certain fees building a housing department, sponsored by Timothy R. Austin, Counselor at Large.
Counselor Austin, are you?
We'll see if I can, if my, audio would stay intact for long enough for me to address this.
Okay.
This matter. This is the one that I wanted to kind of have in
committee. This legislation is sponsored by Councilman Austin.
Right.
Councilman Austin, what's your pleasure?
I want to talk about, this is the one I wanted Milran to kind of come online and give us a little bit more detail on. Is Milran on the line right now?
I am on the line.
Thank you, sir. Break this down to me in elementary terms, and we got a little bit more time to discuss today than we had before. So if you could, I'm going to listen in and tell me just one more time so I can, for the benefit of the team also. So why you want to make these changes and what they are, please.
The changes are to simplify our process and to raise the fees some. I'll give the example again. I said, like, for remodeling a kitchen. If you said you want to come pull a permit to remodel your kitchen, we would have to, in the past, try to count every fixture, every light switch, every ceiling fan, every light. Now it's just a standard fee. If you were coming in and you said you was gonna remodel a kitchen and you knew that we were charging you $20 per 1,000, who's pretty much in their likely mind to tell me how much it really is for them to do the work? You're gonna tell me it might cost you $1,000 or $2,000 so you could pay less of a permit fee. Now it's just no cutting. It's cutting through the chase. It's saying, this is the fee if you're going to remodel the kitchen. The demo price, now it's just a flat fee for your demo. If you're going to put in 1 to 10 windows, this is the price. If you're putting in 11 to 20 windows, this is the price for your fee. To put in a window costs anywhere from $300 to about $700 a window, depending. If you're putting in 10 windows, easily that's about $3,000. But people come in and say it's going to cost them $1,000. Their permit fee is $20. Now, regardless of how many what you're doing, it's just a more simplified process. I don't know if you can hear me, but you sounded like a robot. I didn't hear nothing you just said or understood it.
Any questions? Does anyone have any questions for Director Leach?
Moving on.
We're moving on,
Dr.
Dr.
Okay.
I made it home. I'm gonna log on from my computer.
Okay, ordinance number 16-20, an ordinance amending part 13, title 11, section 1381.03 of the building code of codified ordinances of East Cleveland in order to update contract registration fees by building and housing department and sponsored by Timothy R. Austin, Counselor at Large.
Councilman Austin?
Yes,
Ready?
if you could be so kind as to share some background information, where we are now and where we're trying to get to and some of the benefits and drawbacks.
For this one, the last time the counselors allowed the department to raise the fees for contractor registration, this is basically for contractors being caught working without a permit. Granted, if it's an emergency and someone roof leaked or had to replace a furnace, you don't charge them. They have 48 hours after the emergency is taken care of to come pull a permit. The one that we talked about last time, that fee was reduced from $1,000 to $500. But if contractors do what they're supposed to do and pull a permit, they pay the regular fee. But if they're working without a permit and we catch them and they don't come in, then they should pay a higher fee for working without a permit. Normally, if I come to your property and you're working without a permit and I say, hey, you have to come pull a permit, you come right in, you still pay the same fee. But if I have to keep coming out there several times, then you should be charged a higher fee. And there are contractors that come into the city, they're not registered, and they're doing work.
Okay.
Any questions?
Anything else you want,
Go ahead.
anything else you want to add, Mr. Leach?
That's it.
Okay, so this is about the third or fourth time we talked about it. It is okay to penalize the violator, so to speak. And when I think there was a progression of, you know, this offense, that offense, what's the maximum fee, if you will?
Right now, the maximum fee as proposed is $500.
Okay, I don't know why $1,000 was sticking in my mind.
That was the old
Thank you
fee.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Leach. I got it, I'm tracking, I feel better about it. Thank you. Council Vice, that's all I have.
Dr. Guy, remarks of the public?
Yes, thank you, Vice President. So yeah, so the first one, it was a little confusing. I saw that they were talking about raising those fees on the people. I'm not so sure now that I got a little bit more understanding of it if I like that one or not, even though it doesn't matter what I like or not. But speaking on behalf of the residents, I'm not sure if I support that. Now, the second one is it should be an emergency. And the reason why I say that is because I ride around the city a lot and I see people on roofs and see people taking stuff into houses, getting prepared, setting up shop to do work in people's houses, and then I just think about how in different communities like South Euclid and Cleveland Heights, how they would be scared to get up on the roof and just start replacing the roof without pulling a permit. You know, they don't do that in those other communities. So I think the first thing, like he said, should be to raise the price, the punishment, the fines. So that's really good. We need to do that as soon as possible, but we need to make sure we enforce that. We need to enforce it, and we need to enforce it on everyone. My grandmother's going to be getting work done, and I'm going to tell her, you're going to have to pull a permit, you know, and that's my grandmother. So hopefully the administration enforces this on everyone. Enforce this on everyone, because it will be law, hopefully. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. And finally, I noticed that we've been tearing down houses. One house was on Rosemont. It was a big purple house. I don't know the address. It could have been saved, but to make a long story short, we're tearing down houses that could be saved, and I just don't understand it. We're not giving these houses away. We're not selling them. A lot of them the city own, and we're not selling them. Some of them people just moved out of, and the city owns them, but we're not selling them. I just don't understand it. And when people try to get these houses, they're being denied, even though it's up to the council to give a house away, to sell a house, to sell any property. But I don't see the council making any attempts to sell off some of these houses. I mean, I could name like 5 of them that I know a few $1,000s will get these things up to code and livable, and we can bring more residents in. But it's like we'd rather tear them down. And it's scary because I'm seeing the same contractors tearing everything down and just don't know what's going on. So if the council will do something about these houses that the city owns, that people that can be rehabbed with not that much money, and sell these houses and let somebody get in them, I mean, I think the whole city would appreciate that. Thank you. And that's all I got.
Thank you.
Response of council and the mayor to remarks of the public. Mayor King.
Council Vice President, councilors, how are you?
Great, Mayor
How
King.
are you?
Chief of Staff.
Good evening, Council. As it relates to the previous gentleman's inquiry, he is absolutely, undeniably incorrect about the demos that's going on in the city. The houses that you see coming down are not in the ownership of the city of East Cleveland. Again, we do not own these properties. There is no vacant and abandoned house in the city of East Cleveland that's been vacant and abandoned for 10 years, 5 years or more, that only cost $3,000 to be rehabbed. If that was true, the owner would have sold that property. We are demoing houses at the request of residents. At the request of residents. They are not in the city's inventory, and the city is not bidding out these properties to be demoed. They are being administered by the Cuyahoga County Land Bank, and they can choose whatever contractor they choose. They have their own process. We have no authority over their process. If you see the same contractors out there, that's because the contractors have bidded on the property and won it through the Cuyahoga County Land Bank. We do not own these properties. We declare them public nuisances. The properties, some of them haven't even made it through the foreclosure process, but they have been vacant for, in some cases, decades, and residents are sick of living next door to vacant and abandoned structures. The two specific ones on Rosemont have been vacant for more than 15 years. They are over 3,000 square feet, and it will cost more to rehab it than what they can sell it for. And no one was there to rehab it. So I don't know if the gentleman before me is a contractor, if he's been in these houses, if he's done an estimate, if he's brought in an engineer, if he's brought in an architect, if he's brought in a general contractor and got serious numbers to suggest that rehabbing a 3,000 square foot house would only cost you $3,000. Even in the nicest neighborhood, a full renovation of a 3,000 square foot home would cost you more than $3,000. So I hope in the future that we have more folks who participate in the public comments can present factual information and not things that they think and hope are to be true. That is not our process. We do not own these properties. We are not administering the county demo fund dollars. It's being done by the most reputable demolition entity in the state of Ohio, and their bid process is their own. Whoever wins those contracts, they win those contracts. Thank you very much, Council.
Council Vice President, I wanted to add something. Chair of this committee, Councilman Austin, I was going to make a recommendation to you, and I kind of forgot about it. What I would like for you to consider at one of your future meetings, since it's a Zoom meeting, is to do a live demonstration on how you go to My Place, the county's website, and you look up property information so that we as elected officials all know how to do it. So that when people come on, either at council meetings or Zoom meetings, or they write ridiculous stuff in ridiculous papers, that we as elected officials know how to go look this stuff up, so that if we run into a resident, we can pull up our phone and say, no, this is how you look it up. Give them the address. They go to My Place. They can see who owned it. They can see who owned it before who currently owns it and how they acquired it. So that when an issue or question comes up, for example, Councilor Austin in his property, you look it up on My Place and it shows you he bought it at an arm's length transaction from the previous owner and not out of any land bank. We as elected officials should know how to do that, not just for our own sake, but so that when residents question things because of inaccurate information or flat out fake news, we can correct them. So that's just a recommendation for a future meeting of Councilman Austin.
And lastly, Council Vice President, I have your maps for grass cutting. I'm going to put it in your mailbox.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Austin?
Great, thank you, Madam Vice President. Thank you very much for your willingness and your patience with my audio today. You know, certain parts of the city of Cleveland, you can't get reception. So now I'm back in East Cleveland and the reception is much better. I do appreciate all the things that have went into, you know, between the building and housing team that kind of comes back and answers our questions in great detail and willing to share them through multiple audiences so that everybody can kind of get the message and some of the changes that are going on as it pertains to building and housing. I will share in the future about My Place Cuyahoga because it is a phenomenal reservoir of information that is specific to Cuyahoga County. And so I will share that in the future. And I did hear some discussion about some of the houses that can be saved. I see the perspective of the resident that had a concern as well as the administration, because I get the benefit of going to some places where people really have great hope, but they don't have enough money to finish it. I bought property from people that started a project and just flat out ran out of money, and without influx of cash or somebody with some capacity to finish the job, they sit for 15 years waiting on the money or somebody with the expertise to come in and finish the property. So I do understand that. But I do believe there are some properties that have been sitting for a while that can be saved. I don't know if $3,000 is going to do it, but I agree that some of the properties can be saved and or sold before they get to a point of no return. So as we get closer to where we realize the new East Cleveland, I am so excited. I am waiting to see where we are with the MLK Civic Center, because there is some discussion about being, you know,
Is he gone again, Dr. Guy?
Yeah, he went out again.
close to
Okay.
completion between now and that.
Okay.
We want to make sure Civic Center do a little work if we could as a council. I would like to do that. So with that, I think there was one more note. Oh yeah, I did say that we would do better with helping the city with grass cutting. I'm not quite there yet, but I did buy a riding lawnmower, and if there's some emergency stuff that comes on with one of the wards, or me and one of the council persons come out and help out, we will do so. So I offer that equipment of my own to help the team. So thank you. That's all I have, Madam Vice President.
Okay. I don't have a lot, but I do agree with the mayor with the My Place information. My Place is extraordinary for helping people find out what's going on and where things are located and who owns what. And it's very pertinent that you go on that site and play with that program to get familiar with it. There's some other stuff out there that also helps people find out information. And I think that, like they say, information is power, and you need to have the right information. If no one else has anything else, Dr. Guy, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Councilor Austin?
Yes, right now we can adjourn the contracts and property meeting at 6:13 p.m. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a
Enjoy the
good
rest of your week and your weekend.
All right, thank you, everybody.
see ya.
Yeah.
Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.